welcome back to the Cities of John. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And another History Boys feature and another Hark Now Hear the City Sing. I'm not going to sing it to you guys. You know the ending of that song, don't you? So obviously it's the keys in the clues in the name, isn't it? Of what this is about. It's about Derby days, of course. Mainly happy ones. There may be the odd bad one, but that'd be more a horrible history, won't it, rather than a Hark Now Hear the City Sing. So please join me as we look back at the 14th of March 2004. Yeah, match day 28. This was in new money. We wouldn't have said that in those days. We call it match day, of course. And it is the first ever Manchester derby at City's new home. Of course, now the Etihad, then commonly known as Eastlands or the City of Manchester Stadium. So we're going to have a look back at that today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Everything City, past, present and forever, of course, on this channel. And please give us a thumbs up. All your comments are welcome. All your memories of this game. And I was there on the front row of the what's now the Colin Bell stand. Yeah, we switched from the Kippax. We're on the right of the front row of the Kippax. Sort of more in line with the 18-yard box to the left of the camera, yeah, at Main Road, and of course at the new City of Manchester Stadium. We're in a similar position because they tried to give you similar seats to what you had. Obviously, in certain areas of the ground, it wasn't always possible, of course. So yeah. So match day 20. Join me for that. Please give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. It's great to get your comments and your memories. Of course it is, but a thumbs up's nice as well, guys. Yeah, so how was this first season at Old Eastlands going? Well, Keegan was there, wasn't he, leading the Blues in this brand new world. But it was a struggle. Yes, it was a struggle, as it was for many years, wasn't it, at the Etihad under City. I'll say Etihad, I'll say Eastlands, whichever comes to mind at Eastlands at that time. 13 home games. We weren't exactly a fortress. We'd won just 2, drawing 7, and our away form was actually slightly better. We gained a point more away from home. We'd actually managed to win 4 and draw 2 away from home. But a point a game we were averaging, which wasn't great. That puts you in the relegation zone, doesn't it? A point a game, 27 points from 27 matches of a 38-game season. So it left us sat precariously, not in the bottom 3, but precariously just above in 16th, only 5 points ahead of the bottom team, Leeds United, at the time. As Keegan said in the programme notes, we keep looking for the home win that will turn our season around, and the next opportunities arrive today, and it could hardly be a bigger one. Yeah, so what was the bigger one? Of course, our big opportunity, Fergie's United were in town. The reigning champions, of course, they'd won the league the season before. But they weren't having it all their own way this season. They just sat third. They were only 1 goal difference behind Chelsea in second on the same point. But it was Arsenal who were sort of not running away with it, but had a comfortable 9-point gap at the top of the heap. What was happening around the UK? Just a quick little, I know you like these little things of what's happening around the UK at the time, away from football. On the 29th of February, so a few days before this, Gareth Southgate and Middlesbrough, of course, FC won their first ever trophy in their 128-year history by defeating Bolton in the League Cup final. On the 10th of March, Mr. George Michael, rest in peace, announces that Patience will be his last commercially released record. Future releases will be available from his website in return for donations to his favourite charities. 13th of March, Charles Ngadandwe, if you remember him, performing as Paul Robeson, no less, wins the 15th series of the TV talent show Stars in Their Eyes. Remember that? And the edition is also the last to be presented by a certain Matthew Kelly, who had announced the previous day he would be leaving the series. Toxic, remember Toxic? Yeah, I won't sing along with that one, by Britney Spears. That was the UK #1 single at the time. Katie Malua was top of the album charts with Call of the Search. And Shrek 2 was the biggest grossing movie. So we like a bit of Shrek, don't we? So that was the biggest grossing movie of 2004. Right, back to the derby. Previous meetings, yeah, we met a couple of times, actually, because we had a cup game as well. We played United at Old Trafford twice that season. December the 13th, a Sean Wright Phillips goal was just a consolation in the 3-1 league defeat, and returned in round 5. Yeah, dreams of Wembley, guys, again, but round 5, a trip to Old Trafford was never going to be easy, was it? And that's the 14th of February. And goals from Tarnett and Fowler, yeah, but they weren't quite enough as United knocked in 4 the other end, so we went out of the FA Cup 4-2. So what happened the game before this? Well, United had a couple of quick games. United had won through to an FA Cup semi-final themselves with a 2-1 defeat over Fulham after they'd beaten us at Old Trafford on the 6th of March. But on the 9th of March, their Champions League campaign came to a juddering halt at Old Trafford as a certain Mourinho's Porto, remember the old sprint up the touchline, held them to a 1-1 draw in the very first knockout round game of the Champions League that season. Porto went through 3-2 on aggregate after a 2-1. They'd won 2-1 in Porto, of course. And City's last game, we'd had a couple of weeks' rest, had been on the 28th of February when Fulham's neighbours, of course, who obviously United had beaten the FA Cup, and second place Chelsea had stolen the points. Yes, they were City were the far better team on the day. We just couldn't take our chances. They'd stolen the points at the Etihad with the late Gudjohnsen, is that it? Is that how you pronounce it? Goal against a run of play late on for Chelsea. So the build up to the game, the programme was a 76-page glossy match day programme. Cost just £2.50, including articles from Gary Owen and Buzzer, a Gary James interview with Peter Barnes, who of course also played for that other lot across the road, a Nicholas Anelka sort of feature with a pull-out middle page, questions to Gerard Vikens, and an article on City legend, and I'll say this tongue-in-cheek, and big game player even more tongue-in-cheek, Steve McManaman. The teams that day: City, James, Dunn, Van Boyten, Distan, Wright Phillips, Rayner, Bosvelt replaced him on 45 minutes, Sibierski, Sunjai replaced him on 84 minutes, McManaman, Sinclair replaced him on 45 minutes, he probably would have been better after 5 minutes, Turner, Macken, Fowler, and the subs that weren't used were keeper Arnie Harrison, remember him, and Mr. Paolo Two Steaks, or One Chop as my lad used to call him, Two Steaks, at least that's his sense of humour, guys. United's team was Howard, Phil Neville, Brown, Silvestri, O'Shea, Ronaldo, who was replaced by Solskjaer on 72, Fletcher, Butt, Giggs, replaced by Forlan on 77, Scholes, and of course old horseface himself, Van Nistelrooy. And the subs not used were Carroll, Bellion, and Lynch. Yeah, they probably needed lynching. Attendance that day with 2,872 United fans. I won't call them the disparaging word. 2,872 United fans in the City of Manchester Stadium in a crowd of 47,284. And as I said, me and Marc was sat right at the front. Got a great little view of Sean Wright Phillips' last goal. In charge of the match was a referee I don't remember particularly well, S.G. Bennett. And on VAR, we didn't have VAR then, did we? I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. And match report excerpts from the BBC Sport as the game finished, of course. I'm sure you know if you're there. I'm sure you know and you've read up on it since, obviously, the history of the EASTLANDS and the City of Manchester Stadium in the Etihad. City 4, United 1. Yeah, so it was over to the BBC. We'll have a quick look at what the BBC thought. Obviously, they were in United's corner because they always have been, haven't they? Let's have a look at their match report, if you like, or an excerpt from their match report. And he said, Manchester City completed a torrid week for United's shame and a comprehensive win over their fierce rivals. It was. The scoreline, though, says the BBC, was harsh on United, who lost to their neighbours for only the third time in Sir Alex Ferguson's 17-year reign. The third time. Wonder why he's bitter. I mean, he beat us loads of times, didn't he? You probably know. He probably knew what was going to happen. The visitors hit the woodwork twice and always looked more dangerous on the attack, but still contrived to be behind at half-time. Shame. The match started at frenetic pace, Scholes added to an already electric atmosphere inside the City of Manchester Stadium with a late lunging tackle on Michael Turner. But the City fans were in dreamland moments later when Fowler gave them the perfect start. Just don't let him anywhere near penalties. The former Liverpool striker beat Phil Neville to Antoine Sibierski's flick on before calmly slotted the ball under Tim Howard's body. United almost cut short the celebrations a minute later when City keeper David James palmed away a fierce goal shot straight into the path of, Ronaldo, who smacked his effort onto the foot of the post. The visitors continued to carve out home wins, but with an equaliser looking almost inevitable, United suddenly found themselves 2 goals down. Happy days. Former United trainee John Macken, latched onto a loose ball and his shot on the turn squeezed through Mikel Silvestri's legs and inside the post, and that was his first goal ever in the Premiership. But their 2-goal cushion, or our 2-goal cushion, because it's us, isn't it, lasted less than 3 minutes, and our typical City, as Giggs laid off Ronaldo's cross to Scholes, who lashed the ball home. City, we were reeling, and Ronaldo came agonisingly close to an equaliser when his curling shot came off the crossbar. The Portuguese winger was again involved moments later when his cross just evaded Scholes' outstretched foot. The half-time whistle saved us from the constant barrage, according to the BBC. It probably was right, because I remember when that fourth Shawnee goal went in, I was so relieved. Even at 3-1, I was still not sure. There wasn't long left then. However, United continues to look, say the BBC, the more likely scorers after the break, but as in the first half, Ferguson's side were hit by a sucker punch. Sinclair pounced on a dreadful error by Silvestri, who miskicked his layoff to West Brom and lifted the ball over a stranded Howard. With full time approaching, Wright Phillips, wonderful. Remember, I mean, I was so relieved when this went in, unleashed a ferocious shot to complete a stunning win. I'll try and put a link on there to the highlights of this game as well, guys. Yes, in the ref's book, it wasn't too bad a game as far as dirty tackles. It was okay. Distan was booked for City, and Butt and Scholes, no surprise there, were booked for United. So a good victory, 4-1 for City. Brilliant day, and it certainly eased the thoughts of relegation at the time. But how did it pan out? How did it go for both teams? Well, we didn't get relegated, that's for sure. How did United get on? Well, of course, they had to settle for third spot, with Arsenal finishing top, 11 points clear of Chelsea in second, and United were a further 4 points back, so they were mind the gap at that stage. They did have the consolation, though, unfortunately, as they always did these days, of winning something. They won the FA Cup, of course, beating the footballing giants of Millwall in the final. Shocking. It's not having said that, it wasn't a final I would like to go to, in all fairness. Yeah, and as for us, yeah, a welcome win. But we finished the season identical to how we started this game. We finished in 16th spot. Thanks in no small measure to we had a couple of more home draws. Unfortunately, we managed to win our last 2 home games at the City of Manchester Stadium, 1-0 over Newcastle, and a thrashing of Everton. That was a big relief, although we were okay then anyway. But a 5-1 win over Everton. And it would, of course, be Keegan's last full season. He'd leave us the following March. He'd do up to March of the next season, when obviously he'd gone. He'd sodded off. So there you go, guys. Thanks for joining me. Please let me know your memories of this game. As I say, I just remember the relief that I felt, because it was a little bit. I don't have the stats as such, but I'd be fairly surprised if United didn't have more of everything in that game, and we did sort of nick it. But hey, so what? Fantastic 4-1 hammering. Hey, brilliant stuff. It was happy days. We'd won the last derby at Main Road, and we won the first derby at the City of Manchester Stadium. We'll win a few more, of course, but that's how it goes. So thanks for joining me for this Hark Now Here, the City Sing special, looking back at 14th of March 2004, the first ever derby at our new home, the City of Manchester Stadium, or Eastlands as we like to call it, a 4-1 win. As I said, please let me know your memories. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.